It's 8 p.m. and here are our top stories in 90 seconds.
We've been to a lot of baseball things together, as a family. So it kind of brings us closer together.
It's a family affair in downtown Denver for tonight's MLB All-Star Game. But after the game comes to an end, it's the memories that will matter most.
It's actually insane. I had a little moment of sitting there like, this is crazy.
For a Colorado artist, her experience with the All-Star Game is something that has motivated her to continue pursuing her dreams.
But I promise you, if you just stick to it and find something you love, stay dedicated, you literally can take off.
And for downtown Denver businesses, it's the pick-me-up they needed after a stressful year and a half.
People are just ready to socialize and be together, and we're just so excited to have them that they just keep coming back.
But in the lead-up to the game, it was Denver's homeless situation that took center stage.
We feel like if you're going to hide this problem without actually solving it, then we're going to bring attention to that.
Plus, President Biden calls for action on voting rights across America.
21st century Jim Crow assault is real. It's unrelenting. And we're going to challenge it vigorously.
And another day of haze across the Front Range. Experts fear it could be the norm this summer.
This summer, it doesn't look like we might have a gap in terms of relief from the fires. There's so many fires right now. It's only July.
Good Tuesday evening, and thank you for watching Denver7 News on Local 3. I'm Jessica Porter. Excitement was high all day long around Coors Field in downtown Denver for the MLB All-Star Game. Right now, Coors Field is packed to the brim with fans from across the country. Coors Field last hosted the All-Star Game more than 20 years ago, back in 1998. The game is highlighting the best Colorado has to offer. That includes an Aurora artist who painted a custom path in the shoe game. Denver7's Addie Guajardo joins us from right in the middle of all the excitement at Coors Field. Addie, the artist created a pair of custom cleats.
Jessica, she sure did. She hand painted, as a matter of fact, Coors Field with detail onto a pair of cleats and used the Colorado Rockies purple, of course. When I first saw these shoes on Saturday, my jaw dropped. The detail on these cleats is just incredible. Brianna Berry tells me it took her more than 4 hours to create. Art takes time, creativity, and commitment.
I struggled with what to do with my art.
Until one morning in 2017, when Brianna Berry woke up inspired.
This is the shoe that woke me up to customizing.
She painted Mickey Mouse on her Timberlands and posted them online.
Put them on Instagram, and life took off.
Brianna calls herself Colorado's queen of custom shoe art.
My very first professional athlete, or anybody famous, was Demarius Thomas.
Her client list is made up of athletes and celebrities.
NBA, I have G-Eazy, rapper, Machine Gun Kelly, he's a rapper, NFL, a lot of tread stuff. He was my very first NBA player.
Her creativity and hand-painted freestyle art caught MLB's attention for one of the biggest games of the year. She's one of 3 artists selected to create custom cleats for the All-Star Game's Soul Power exhibit.
I was like, this is actually insane. I had a little moment of sitting there like, this is crazy.
The only woman of color from Colorado to showcase her work.
It's here in Denver, so I had to go with purple for the Rockies. I don't really plan ahead of time. When I get the shoe is when my mind starts to go.
Her shoes were on display 5 days.
I actually signed an autograph, and that literally took me out. This sweet little boy, I was like, oh my God, I'm about to cry.
Brianna, a single mother, lost track of how many shoes she's created in the last 4 years. In 2019 and 2020,
these ones were for Justin Simmons.
She created nearly 100 custom shoes for the Broncos' My Cause, My Cleats, all while balancing a graveyard shift and providing for her daughter and her mother.
I just want to forever do what I love and really take off with it and, yeah, do this full time for eternity.
And inspire the next generation of artists. Now, Brianna tells me 5 kids who participated in the Soul Power exhibit will be selected to receive custom hand-painted cleats themselves. As for what's next, she tells me she has a number of big ideas for the one and only NBA MVP, Nikola Jokic. She says she's just waiting for his call. Reporting live in downtown Denver, Addie Guajardo, Denver7 on Local 3.
Well, hopefully he sees this and gives her a call. Thank you, Addie. She is so talented. And for Absolutely. And for businesses in downtown Denver, the All-Star Game has been a sort of saving grace from the turmoil they felt during the pandemic. Many businesses in the ballpark and Lodo neighborhoods have seen game day sales on par with pre-pandemic sales. Ian's Pizza, which is right across from Coors Field, says sales have been the best in 7 years they've been open.
There's just people everywhere. It's been like this all the weekends, like pretty much every weekend that we work.
Standing in line again is something I didn't think I would miss, but it felt desolate for a time, but now we're back.
And of course, time will tell if this trend will last. But at least for now, many businesses are feeling a collective joy that they've come out of the other side of the pandemic. You can read more about downtown Denver's post-pandemic economic rebound right now on the denverchannel.com. And coming up tonight on Denver7 News at 10, we will have full highlights of tonight's game. Of course, Denver wanted to present a certain image ahead of the game and surrounding festivities. Advocates insist that image did not include the homeless. Today, protesters repeated their claim that the city increased sweeps as tourists began to arrive. Mayor Michael Hancock says that's not true and that it only seems that way because the camping ban wasn't strongly enforced last year. The mayor also says unsanctioned encampments are not an option and that more resources are needed. His point was reinforced this morning when someone was shot at a camp off Welton and 18th. Denver 7's Ivan Rodriguez is looking into what the city is doing to address the situation at hand.
If the city has to recognize that it has a problem.
Dozens of people gathered at Mestizo Curtis Park to share stories of people experiencing homelessness, many that often go untold.
They are human beings, and we need to be caring for all of these.
We're seeing more and more people coming out on the streets and joining these camps, and the population in Denver is growing in terms of its unhoused.
They then lined up tents as part of their demonstration. This time, their message sprawled across the canvas.
We feel like if you're going to hide this problem without actually solving it, then we're going to bring attention to that.
One person at the forefront of the issue nationally is HUD Secretary Marcia Fudge.
We are in the richest nation in the world. No one should sleep on a street, in a tent, under a bridge, on a bench. No one.
During her visit to Denver, she advocated for President Biden's $300 billion infrastructure plan, which she says will address the country's shortfall of 11 million places for people to live.
So the president is asking for this $300 billion to build at least 2 million new units, a new tax credit that would allow us to either build or rehabilitate another 500,000. And then there's another, and then LIHTC will, low-income housing tax credits will probably give us another 3,000 or 4,000.
But for people attending the Stop the Sweeps rally, new units are not the solution.
Use the housing we have, reconstitute it, like purchasing motels and knocking out some of the walls and making those have increased capacity.
In a statement, the city says it's doing more now than ever to help Denver's unhoused population. They say in part, our innovations include new temporary managed campsites, tiny homes, 24/7 residential sheltering, and same-day city jobs. The city says it also opened a new 24/7 shelter for 450 men and women's shelter for up to 500 women. Ivan Rodriguez, Denver 7.
Ivan, thank you. Denver may get federal funding to convert an old hotel into housing for the homeless. Representative Diana DeGette made a request for $2 million in funding to help the city purchase the now vacant Stay-In Hotel. It's near 39th and Peoria in Montbello. With the money, the city wants to renovate the 95-room hotel to create affordable housing. A House Appropriations Committee approved the funding yesterday. Today, President Biden made a call for action on voting rights in America. It comes as Texas Democrats fled their state to hold off a vote on a Republican push to restrict voting in the state.
21st century Jim Crow assault is real. It's unrelenting. And we're going to challenge it vigorously. They want to make it so hard and inconvenient that they hope people don't vote at all.
Vice President Kamala Harris met with those Texas Democrats who fled to Washington, D.C. today. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has threatened to arrest them when they return to Texas. The NAACP says they will foot the bill for bail. Westminster Police Chief Tim Carlson is on paid leave tonight while a third party looks into the department's workplace environment. We asked for more information, and the city said it could not provide details without compromising the investigation. An affidavit reveals an Idaho Springs police officer not only tased a 75-year-old man, but kicked him in the knee and hit him in the back of the head. Police came to Michael Clark's door in late May because a neighbor claimed he had punched her. Clark denied that. The affidavit also suggests he might not have realized it was police banging at his door because they didn't announce themselves. Clark answered the door with a novelty machete in hand. Once he dropped it, Officer Nicholas Hanning fired his taser and smashed Clark's head into a shelving unit. A fellow police officer told investigators she was surprised Hanning tased and attacked Clark, believing the threat had diminished. Officer Hanning has been charged with assault. Clark had a stroke afterwards and is now in a nursing facility.
The appetite was always here for a service like this, and now it's finally something they can use.
A Colorado startup is changing the takeout game.
I just always felt that restaurants could do a little bit better job.
As our state moves away from styrofoam containers, one company is thinking about the future.
Everyone else who loves eating out can enjoy it without all the guilt and trash that comes with it.
Still some scattered storms out there. There'll be a lot more of them coming up tomorrow and Thursday.
Plus, putting an artistic spin on a classic collectible.
This is a lot of work for someone my age.
But age isn't stopping him from following his passion.
It took some trial and error, and it ended out with a great card.